Hi, and welcome to our project. So for our project for database design, we decided to make a therapy game, as it's a good medium between what we both want to do. So he wanted to do game design, and I wanted to do something related to like psychology or therapy, and so we came up with this game. And so the basic premise of our game is that the player is met with a login page, and they're given a chance to register. So registering would create a tuple in our database, um, and using that registration information, they would log in, and then if the login is successful, they would be categorized into either a patient or a therapist. And if it's unsuccessful, they will be prompted to that their login is incorrect, and will continue to try to log in. And so on the patient side, they're met with a screen of playing a game, and for our project, we decided to design a very simple game, which is essentially just picking out of three colors on the screen which one fits the best with the example shown, and you have 60 seconds to sort of get the best score possible. And at the end of that trial or playing the game, you are met with a couple questions to answer, which are related to therapy. After answering these questions, the user's answers and scores are stored in the database, and the user logs out. And then on the other hand, if you are a therapist, you are shown a patient's information. You're given the chance to find a specific patient, view all of the patient's information, or delete the current user. And so if you go down the road of finding a specific patient, you would input their corresponding ID or name of the patient, and then their information would be displayed. Similarly, if you view all the patient's information, and you view on both sides, you can view a specific patient's notes, which is just the therapy notes written by a therapist, and the therapist would have an option of deleting, editing um, the corresponding note to that patient. Um, and from there, if you want to continue editing different patients' information, or sorry, notes, you would go through the same process, and otherwise you would exit. Similarly, if you went down the road of deleting the current user, then the user's information would be deleted from the database, and the application would exit. And so that's the basis of our project, and we'll now demonstrate how to use our program and like how everything I described just now, yeah, fits. So yeah, you're first met with the login window of inputting an ID and password, but because you are a new user, you don't have information to input, so we would click register, and now you're met with a welcome page of registering. So in the first box, you can see we're putting in our like the ID that we want, and we can click if the ID is valid. And here we can see that it's valid because it doesn't exist in the database. And we come up with a password. We come up with a name. If you're a therapist or a patient, your gender, your race, and your age. And you register. And once you register, this will be stored in the database, and now you will use the same information to log in. So now you're met with the game, and as you can see, there's 60 seconds, and you're choosing out of three options, like which color fits the best. And yeah, you can see the score on the top right as well, counting how many colors you got correct. And we'll just go through this really quick. And now you're met with a couple questions that you can answer. and you can also see your score on the top bar. So we'll just submit some random comments right here, but all these comments will be stored in a database. You can also clear. And yeah, so if it's empty, then you wouldn't be able to submit. And so you're now logged out. So now we're going to register as a therapist. Again, check if the ID is valid. We're going to log in with that information. And here you can see the options I described before, and now we're going to press View All just to see all the information. You can check on each individual's notes. Here, of course, the notes is empty because we haven't updated it, but yeah, now we can update it. See, and we're met with a success. And if we press it again, we can see that it's stored in the database. And if we want to search for a specific user, we can do it that way. And if we press delete, we will delete the therapist from the database. And if we try log in again with the same information, we can see that it no longer works and it gives us a wrong ID password. And yeah, so that's our project. I'm quite proud of what we managed to complete. As you can see, we've demonstrated a semi-complex application as well as all the CRUD. So creating, reading, updating, and deleting tuples from the database. I hope you liked our project. Thank you.